Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I came across a video on TikTok, and I didn't quite know what to make of it. Some people seem to be upset because we, Black Americans, are not panicking, that we are not running out in the streets or throwing ourselves on the mercy of the presidency because now we are afraid that everything has been taken away from us. We have been in this country for over 400 years and we are still standing. At every juncture, somebody has come into the office of the presidency to try to turn back all of the gains that we have made in this country. And each time we have navigated our way through it, as we will this time. I understand the concerns of this content creator, but I just don't see the point of us panicking or running out into the streets. If black people say we're going to rest, that means that we have earned the right to let these things play out. The recourse that we have in the United States is through the legislative and the judicial branch, if not the executive branch. Black Americans didn't vote in the numbers that we usually vote in the last election. So there's nothing we can do about that now. So there's no point in panicking. And now we do have the courts. We have local courts, we have state courts, we have district courts, we have appellate courts, and we have the Supreme Court. And this would be the time to put those branches of government to the test. And the way you do that is you build a legal defense fund and you hire people who know what they're doing if you're at risk, and you fight through the courts and you fight through the legislative branch, and then you fight through the voting system. You vote. You have to vote in America. You don't have the luxury of not voting if you're concerned about the direction of the country. And I have to keep saying this because it's important. The people that wanted Donald Trump to win, that wanted him to be the president of the United States of America, voted. 75% of the people staying home not voting, and then somebody gets in office that you don't want, and then you start trying to make everybody else feel like they got to get out there and do something. If you did what you could do, then you just have to let the thing play itself out. But I'm going to let you listen to the video, and then I'm going to come back and have some more to say about it. And then I want you to let me know what you think about this in the comment section.
Okay, now I've only been talking to black people in my past few videos, but this is really just for black people because some of y'all are really acting like this whole political wave that's hitting the country right now don't have nothing to do with us. You think because they're not screaming Black Lives Don't Matter in your face that everything is harmless. And I just got to tell you that you're wrong. This is anti-black policy. It's being repackaged and refined and rolled out. And y'all talking about resting. And listen, anyway. So I'm not arguing with y'all about DEI. I understand that it helped white women and other people of color way more than it helped black people. That DEI never did enough for us. That white people got the most out of affirmative action. That other POC were like the safe face of diversity. And that black people were the least hired and the most surveilled. And like even in STEM, it was like 62% of black people report discrimination in hiring and promotion. And that's what it looked like with protections. So imagine what's about to happen now that they're rolling it back and banning it and stripping it from schools and corporations and government agencies. And y'all clapping, talking about it never did nothing. Like, nah, it never did enough. But now that it's about to be absent, it's going to hit us the worst. I'll tell you that. And your civil rights, they don't mean shit without enforcement. Like, no, they didn't repeal it, but they did something worse. They stopped enforcing it. So basically, Trump froze the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. That's the division that's the federal entity responsible for investigating police departments, stopping voter suppression, holding schools accountable, and like fighting housing discrimination. And with that office frozen, Your rights still technically exist, but good luck getting them protected. Good luck getting them enforced. And now we got legal segregation. Segregation is back. And some of y'all are like, well, that's only at the federal level and it's only for federal contractors. Let me explain to you why that matters. So first of all, they deleted a clause, and the clause says that the contractor can't maintain or provide segregated facilities, and that wording has been there since the civil rights movement. So basically now federal contractors, like companies that get your money, your tax dollars, can racially separate spaces without violating terms. So that means if they're running a shelter or a school or a clinic or a prison, they don't have to integrate. That means that they can ignore racism in their hiring, in housing, in facility structures, and it guts your legal recourse. So, you got unequal break rooms or entrances, there's no federal clause to hold nobody accountable. And this is how they lay the groundwork for Jim Crow 2.0. So, and this time it's in the fine print. It's not in burning crosses. So there you go. And now we got states' rights, right? States' rights means that Black Lives Matter, not at all, at least not nationally. So when they say states' rights, what they're saying is we're giving power back to the states. And what they really mean is, we're giving white power back to local control. Listen, states' rights is what gave us Jim Crow, baby. States' rights is what segregated schools and made unequal health care and did abortion bans that kill black women. A lot of y'all don't understand that abortions is not all about killing babies. If you have a miscarriage and your body doesn't inject the entire fetus, it's called a D&C. And if you can't get that procedure, then you can have an infection left over from the rest of the fetus that's still inside your body that can kill you. And you can only get that if your abortion rights are intact. So, black women die more in this country, especially when it's concerning child care. So, y'all act like this shit don't impact us. And policing systems disproportionately harm black youth. But the federal government is going to say that's not our jurisdiction. It's all about states' rights. They're not abandoning us. That's law now. And then y'all be killing me with this immigration shit. Y'all act like this is only a Latin and an Asian issue. But like there are black immigrants, Haitians, Jamaicans, Nigerians, Sudanese, Somali, Eritrean, Ethiopian. Y'all act like they don't exist. Trump literally flew Haitians out by the plane load. They was on horses whipping them at the fucking border. They are being detained longer in immigration camps and treated worse. And we sit back and act like it's not our business. This is the most performative pro-black shit I've ever seen before in my life, because y'all let your liberation stop at a border that white men created. That's crazy. And then you talk about Congress, like Congress gonna stop something. Like, first of all the watchdogs are gone. They're not just removing policies, they're dismantling entire systems, right, that are supposed to protect us. The Department of Education Office for Civil Rights has been stripped of power. So now schools don't have to follow anti-discrimination laws.
Well, she went on for a few more minutes, and I just had to cut it short. But you get the drift of what she's saying. I don't know how long her family has been in the United States. She's sounding like she is a Black American, but she's also sounding like she thinks that we haven't been through all of these things that she's afraid of before. We've been through all of that before. And this whole thing about the DNC, women can't have abortions, so they can't so they can't get a DNC. I don't know if that's true or not, because I remember years ago as a kid, people talking about folk going to the hospital to have DNCs, and that was before Roe versus Wade. That was before the abortion was even legal. So I'm not really sure if she's right about that. But all of this other stuff that she's talking about are things that we have been through. And she seems to be upset because black women are saying that they're resting, or because black people are saying that they're resting, that she doesn't realize that we know what to do. We've been through this before. Dred Scott and his wife were enslaved, and they took their case to the Supreme Court. And there are other cases that black Americans have taken to the Supreme Court and won. So she seems to think that we don't have a history in this country of what to do. And she's assuming that everything that she's saying is a fact and it's going to come true. Now, I realize that, we all know that we have to do something, but we haven't come this far by being stupid. And we don't need somebody that's in their 30s or 40s to tell us everything that we need to do. I think that, we've been to this rodeo before. Now, I want to know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this, and maybe we can talk about it again. Okay, thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.